Alright guys, episode number 5. So this episode is just taking off from where we've fiberglassed all the joins and seams in the plug, and now we're mixing up the flow coat and talcum powder mix to make a bog to fair it all out. So yeah, we've just mixed a bunch of flow coat with talcum powder just to make it a bit thicker, have it a bit better filling properties that way, and yeah, we've just painted it onto the joins and then we're sanding it down, and yeah, you'll see in the video anyway. So yeah, once again guys, please do like and subscribe, and yeah, if you feel inclined, if you want to have a chat, just hit me up in the comments. Really do appreciate the subscriptions and those of you supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm just going to mix up that flow coat mix now. That's a flow coat and talcum powder mixed. So the talcum powder is just to thicken it up, makes it a little bit easier to sand, not by much, but yeah, it just thickens it up so it's not going to run down the plug to the floor. So I'll mix that up and we'll start putting it on. Again guys, this is just for a male plug for a female mould, nothing to do with the boat itself. So if it was, I would have stirred that up properly and got a good mix going, but that would just be a waste of time for something that I'm just going to burn. Yeah, we're going to use quite a bit. I'm going to be able to use this pretty quick because I don't have to get it into all the weave or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just going to mix up a pretty big batch. I'll kick it pretty hard so it sets pretty quick, and I should be able to fair it by tonight. It usually does set pretty quick. So we'll see how that goes. We're at about nearly halfway, I guess. And then this is the talcum powder, we'll mix that in, but we'll do that after we do the catalyst. I did see one of the sailing channels, oh not sailing channels, but one of the building channels, mix their thickening stuff into the resin before their catalyst. That wasn't that long ago, can't remember which channel it was now, but that doesn't make sense to me. It would be pretty hard to get your catalyst through everything considering it's so thick, so yeah, don't know. We want it to only just run, so when we put it on a horizontal or vertical surface there, horizontal meaning the horizontal joints, it doesn't drip. That's probably not too bad, a little bit runny, but I did put a lot of catalyst in, so it's going to start to thicken up pretty quick. So we'll start putting it on. We just use the paintbrush and just go around painting it onto the joins. Battery's just about to run out in the GoPro, so I'll show you real quick, hopefully before. So we'll just go over it, every single join, and load it up pretty thick, and then we'll knock it down and fair it out level. Not too worried about those hairy bits, they're coming off anyway. So I'll get stuck into that and I'll get back to you when I charge the GoPro. Okay, so I've gone around and put the flow coat mixture on all the joins there, and I know it looks rough, like pretty bad compared to what I started with, but it's all going to fare down all nicely. With only a few pinholes left that I'll go around and fill with builder's bog. This side's a little bit worse. You can see the stuff that started to kick already in the tin. It came with it, but again, we're sanding it off. So yeah, it's a lot better doing it this way than just sanding the fiberglass itself, because at least at this stage you reduce the chance of getting down to the fiberglass or sanding as much fiberglass, and you're only sanding through a flow coat and talcum powder mix, so not as itchy. So don't know if any of you have ever sanded fiberglass before, but when you sand it down or cut it or anything like that, once it's in resin and set, there's itchy powder that comes off it, and it sucks to get it on your skin. It makes you itch pretty bad. And the worst time you notice it too is when you go to bed and lay in fresh sheets and your body feels like it's on fire. It sucks. So hopefully we don't touch too much fiberglass as we're sanding this flow coat down. But as I said previously, I hate sanding, and it's really good that I only have to sand just these patches. Whereas if I built these holes from scratch in one big piece, you might be able to see in previous videos on my channel, I started restoring a Seawind 24 as well. I resheathed the whole side of, well, the whole bottom half of the hull on that, and did this technique on the like filled it in with flow coat and stuff. I'd have to do that to two 52-foot hulls. So I'd much rather just do a little bit of work now on these joins and get a mold that I don't have to sand two 52-foot holes with. Alright guys, we are suiting up. All that flow coat mix has set overnight, and yeah, we're suiting up. So like I said, that flow coat reduces the amount that we have to sand the fiberglass, so it'll be a little bit prouder than the fiberglass there, but there's still definitely going to be places where we're going to be hitting the glass, so we're going to suit up pretty well, because fiberglass dust sucks. With the dust mask on, we've got a bit of a breeze floating through the shed here this morning, so it should carry most of it away. But I've slowly learned through working with fiberglass. Back in the day, I built a like a bass fishing boat once out of a Pride pacemaker hull. I'll put some photos up of it. It was a bit of a process, but yeah, I used to get home from work and just hook into it without suiting up. I'd be like, oh, I'll just do a little bit. Next thing I'm cutting into things and grinding them down without anything on. And that's how you get a bad night's sleep. So I'll just grab the camera here and show you. This is all set now. So I'm going to start buzzing that down and see what we're left with. So this is going to take a while, so I might switch over to a time lapse. You can sort of see there, like I said, we will be touching the glass in a lot of places. The flow coat is just a filler, but yeah, I'll switch it over to a time lapse and we'll get stuck in. Alrighty, bit dusty there. This side is all fed down. There's still some holes and lumps and stuff in it, but not too bad. Still got to dust it off. There's still some pinholes in it, so I don't know if I will maybe still paint it with that primer, might fill in the pinholes. Then as I was sanding it, I was thinking I might just do big vinyl strips. As I said in my intro video, I have a signwriting business as well, so I have plenty of scrap vinyl that I can actually do some pretty wide strips over each side. And the good thing about that is, one, it seals it up in one step. I don't have to sand it or anything, it's ready for wax. Another one, when you wrap something, like cars and stuff, if you go over any bumps and you actually don't heat and press the vinyl down into it, and if it's not a clean surface down in the hole, it actually won't stick, it'll pop back out. And my thinking is like things where, let's see if I can find one. So that's probably a bad example there. I'd probably still fill that, but say if that was a smooth hole, I'd just vinyl over the top of that, and then eventually, after a couple of days, it's just going to pop level and be flush. So it's sort of, yeah, self-leveling in some ways. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I still have to sand all the other side. I put a screw up through the center line, so that's where our fence is going to be. The original idea was to have this mold all in one piece, but I'm actually going to do a clamshell now, so there'll be a join in the seam that's all bolted together. That's one of a couple of reasons. One of them is because of how stressed out I was about demolding it with like bumps and stuff in it, so I don't have to worry about anything being locked into the mold anymore. If it's a clamshell, because all I have to do is just unbolt it and pull the side off. The other one is getting it in and out of the shed, so we can lean it over and get it out on the shed on the diagonal, and also handling it either by myself or with some mates. It's going to be a lot easier to lift two halves into a place and then bolt them together. So yeah, a few reasons like that. I promised the girls that we'll go down to the beach now once I finish sanding this side, so I'll stick to my word and we'll go for a swim at the beach. Alright guys, it's Sunday now. Yesterday I'm pretty sure I cooked the bearing in the orbital sander, and I'm out of pad, so we're going to go get some of that. And also my brother wants a hand flipping over the Seawind 24, so we'll go out and flip that over. Then we'll come home and we'll get stuck into ferrying out the rest of the boat. Alright guys, night time now. Shed's nice and cool, so I figured I'd wait until the sun goes down to get stuck into this next bit. Went and got a new sander. This is the next size up, so apparently for rapid removal of material, which is what we want. So I'm going to get stuck in. I'll probably still have to touch up this side a bit, even though it's pretty fair, but I'll come across and touch it up eventually. But just for tonight, I'm going to try and knock all this side down. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it. I'll time lapse this. Alrighty guys, another sanding mission done. Got most of the other side done. There's just a few bits across the top, 3 panels across the top. They're only about 1 metre long, so 3 metres of sanding left on that side. And then tomorrow I might go around and just give it all a final buzz down as far as I can. We're getting very, very close to putting these flanges or fences on and starting to lay out the resin. So I'm going to probably put an order in tomorrow or next week. Tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, put an order in and start getting some composite stuff here, some glass reinforcements and the gel coat and resin. I got all that off, probably look like Charlie Sheen. But these like the imperfections that are left in them, the ones that I'm concerned about are the dints, because in the mold they will be raised bits. So if there's too many raised bits, or if the raised bits are too big and I have to take them down in the mold, there's a chance that I could go through to the glass. Whereas if they're raised on this plug, they're going to be dints in the mold and I can easily fill them. So I've got a few extra spots up my sleeve to fix these. So I will try and get as many as I can out of them at this stage. Then at the mold stage I can fill all the high bits, which will be low bits in the mold, and fair them out. And then when I pop a hull out of the mold, the low bits will actually be high bits again and I'll be able to knock them down. So still got 3 chances to fix up any defects or anything like that after this plug, but it's best to try and get them all out now. Certainly saves a lot of work later. Just going through lunchtime now, so still pretty hot in the shed, but probably start cooling from now on. Last night I sanded most of this. I just have this section, that section, and the last section to do on that top joint. I'll buzz that down, then I'll go over the whole mold one more time to try and get as many of the imperfections out as I can. And then we'll be looking at setting up the flanges and that sort of thing, so good stuff. If you can see, not sure if it's going to come up on the camera, this side is a little bit higher than this side, so we've got to do a bit of filling down that way. We obviously can't fill onto this because it won't stick onto the melamine, but yeah, we'll get the fill as far across as we can to try and fill that step in. You might be able to see it a bit better on that side. So not super proud of the fitment of that, but that's all I could do when I was working by myself. And we'll just bog it up, make it all smooth. You won't be able to tell. One, it'll be under the water, so if you're checking it out that close under the water, you can go ahead and do that, but yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's smooth. What I'll actually do is trowel it on and use the trowel to try and fill that side in. So I'll hold this side down, this side up, and yeah, get it to fill in nicely. Alrighty, so that's probably not a bad consistency. It's only just starting to fall off the steering stick there. And I did put a fair bit of catalyst in it, so it's going to start to kick pretty quick. And when it kicks, it slowly gets thicker and thicker until it sets. Guys, all those sections are done. So before I go any further, I might just clean up the shop and yeah, get up all the dust, try and clean up the mold a bit. Even though I'm going to make it dusty again every now and then, it's good to just have a good reset of the shop. It's starting to get pretty dusty now. Alrighty guys, we'll leave that episode there. It's starting to drag on a bit. Yeah, so I've got all the joins all flow coated and sanded. Next episode we'll be figuring out the flanges, either end of the plug, and the one down the keel line, and also priming and painting those joins and the final fairing through the primer, make it nice and smooth. I mentioned it in that video there that decided to go the vinyl strips over the top of those joins as well. And of course, like, we didn't get the plug completely fair. Yeah, so a couple of reasons for that. Because I decided to do the plug out of melamine, I'm sort of limited to the amount of fairing I can do. So I can't fair it all the way down, otherwise I'm going to start taking that melamine surface off, which kind of defeats the purpose. So yeah, we've sort of just decided that either way, we're just going to have to work on the mould once we release it from the plug, which yeah, it doesn't really bother me. It's only a quarter of the boat, and yeah, it will pop out 4 good hulls once it's all completed. So yeah, once again guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, hit me up in the comments. Catch you later.